sure they've seen their share of skull cracking already. He turned his back to Eustace, watched himself apply a fresh coat of lipstick using a tiny hand mirror, and calmly said in his fey baritone, "No, honey, you remember that little chat we had about our friend under the bar? Anyone who tries to take this club out or anyone in it, I want them blown away." Roth snapped the compact shut and cut his eyes back toward the crowd, as if to prove his point. An older woman who had obviously spent a lot of time on the table trying to look much younger was leading another younger woman dressed in a dirty work shirt and khaki shorts and looking like someone had very recently kicked the shit out of her. The grandma leaned in. "Little girl's room?" He pointed the way, then leaned forward, a glass in one hand and the bar gun, the non-lethal one, in the other. "You need some ice for that eye?" he shouted across as they walked away. The girl looked back for a moment, flashing in what he thought was a look of panic, but quickly turned forward again after a rough nudge from the older woman. "Some girls never learn, do they, dear?" Roth said with a dramatic sigh. "I'm going home now, Eustace. You keep an eye on those two." My woman's intuition lit up as soon as they came in. "Sure thing, boss." He reminded himself to send one of the waitresses in to check upon them in a few minutes when Frankie motioned for refills on their drinks, which he mixed and didn't think any more about it. The secretary of Akira Nakura, who is the head of Nakura International, which is an aerospace firm, his son has inherited reluctantly the company after the father has been killed in a car bomb. His secretary has sent his son off on a mission to find his killers. Andrea Turner tried to find something to do besides cry, but it wasn't working. She even found herself asking around to the other assistants in the outer offices to see if they had some extra work they might need help with. She was trying to occupy herself by paging through a fashion magazine on her screen, but it was all just words and pictures and pixels scrolling by. Nothing congealed into meaning. How appropriate. Seeing Akiro's son earlier that morning hadn't made the meaning of the last few days any clearer. She had found herself thinking of Akiro even more, which just threw her deeper and deeper into a depression she had to hide. She looked upset. To look upset because your boss died is one thing, but to look like you're lamenting the death of a lover is quite another. And she didn't want anyone to know in the office to suspect the latter, even though there was nothing anyone could really do about it now. Other than the diluted genes which gave Mako his vaguely Japanese hair and eyes, he seemed nothing like his father when she first looked at him. He was tall and skinny, yet athletic in comparison to his father's paunch. Akiro had tried to eliminate his belly with daily workouts and a diet that avoided the overindulgence he was often subject to, an attempt to make himself more desirable to her. Mako, on the other hand, struck her as looking more like a purebred American Indian than the son of a wealthy Japanese corporate magnate. When she watched him skillfully elude Yoshi and Spivey, she knew exactly whose son he was. There was a glimmer in his eyes when he used her intercom to inform them that they were trapped. His gait, though that of a slimmer younger man, and the deeply sympathetic way he looked at her when she implored him to find his father's killer, all told her that Mako's genetic path led right to Akira Nakura's doorstep. It was the glimmer that made her tremble simultaneously with recognition and deep sadness. It was such a glimmer that had originally attracted her to Mako's father, and it was such a look that often remained with Akira as he followed her into the tiny bedroom of her Rittenhouse Square apartment, where his enthusiasm would spark inspired innovations in their loving. As a surprise for his most recent birthday, Andrea even studied the traditions of the geisha, hoping to stoke that enthusiasm even more. Akira was delighted, and teased her that she was naturally blessed with the porcelain white skin Japanese women could only achieve through heavy applications of powder and makeup. That, combined with her Nordic crystal blue eyes and blonde hair, made him quite aroused. The irony was that she could have very well ended up working for Mako in the same capacity as she did for her father. She never thought of herself as the type to sexually engage both the father and son, but she could see herself becoming attracted to the younger Nakura just from their brief meeting earlier. She only hoped Mako's youthful rebelliousness and disdain for what his father did wouldn't prevent him from seeking out his father's killers, even if it was only at her pleading request that he do so. Thank you. Those are a couple of selections from Immaculate Deception. Hope everybody enjoyed it.
And there we go. That was Scott Pruden, and today is Saturday. Scott Pruden. And today is Sci-Fi Saturday at the York Emporium. We're going to have a lot more coming up, so stick around. All right, now, Scott, if anybody's interested, is going to be available to answer some questions and to do some more talking and to sign some books and all that kind of happy stuff. Down in our science fiction section, underneath the Enterprise, where the Enterprise is flying. So he'll be set up down there, so you're welcome to go down and talk to him. And please just stop by, just because he made the trip and we don't want him to be too lonely and stuff. Okay? And